Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Jason Drix, House of Fun and Video Games, bringing you a new series entitled Comic Book Store Time and Fines Volume 1. That took a lot to get out, and the reason why, I'm exhausted. I debated on doing this tonight, but I have so many ideas for so many videos I want to get out that it needed to happen. We have to make sacrifices. And why am I so exhausted? I'll tell you why. I've been up since probably about 2 this morning. In the last week alone, I have worked well over 60, almost 70 hours. I probably was close to 80 at this point. But that's life, and that's the sacrifices you have to make in being a manager in retail. So I do not complain about it, but it does get tiring because at the end of the day you have a very big responsibility. I don't claim to be better or worse or have more responsibility or less responsibility than anybody else out there, but if you do work in that industry, you do realize that, yeah, there's a lot, and you earn everything you make. So with that being said, I want to get into what I got here. But first, let's take it back a minute. So how did I come across this? Why have I never brought up this type of store before? Well, I haven't been to this particular comic book store that's close by to me in well over a year. I was going for a little bit. I was interested in getting the graphic novels for, not really graphic novels, but compilations of Carnage, because I was really into Carnage. I've always been into Carnage. Carnage is such a cool comic and such a great game. Maximum Carnage, I played it a lot as a kid on the Sega Genesis, and I like Spider-Man and Venom. I got a bunch of different ones. I can't remember now. Again, don't mind me. Super exhausted, but after a while, for whatever reason, just kind of stopped going, and it's mainly because of work. I think at the time I was working overnights and trying to function as best as you can as any normal human being out there, as close to normal as can be. Working overnights is extremely tough, and if you do it, you get the thumbs up, because I'm just not that good at it. I get home after I go to work, and that's it. Probably stay up for a little bit, do some chores, write some bills, send them out, and go to bed. So luckily I don't live that life anymore, but now I'm actually working 3 or 4 in the morning sometimes. It's usually 3 now because of my current occupation. So it's not really a change of occupation, I just changed the part of the store that I control, right? So big responsibility, but at the end of the day, I thoroughly enjoy a challenge, and I thoroughly enjoy that responsibility. It's just who I am as a person. I'm a born leader. And that's not from my perspective, of course, not only me, I should say. That's from a lot of folks that I come across, and I'm pretty proud to be able to say that I've heard that more than once. So, thumbs up to me, and let's get back into this. So, I just go way off track, and I'm glad you put up with me for a few minutes, and I get back on track. I'm like a train, right? So the train goes, and it hits a bump. Well, if it actually hit a bump, that wouldn't be good. I'm not going to make that analogy, but I'm off the tracks, okay? I'm like a roller coaster that skips. Nothing good happens, but we're going to get to the point now. Okay, so I go to do my taxes finally. It's June, and I get my taxes done as fast as humanly possible. That's just who I am as a person. I know it's one of those things that is extremely easy, and I could do it myself. There's a lot of different applications you can use and stuff like that, but I feel more comfortable going to a tax advisor and presenting all the information I need, having them professionally put it in. Yes, you do pay a little bit of money, and I'm sure there's some folks out there that disagree and like to do it on their own. I've had a lot of folks say it's really easy and this and that and the other thing. So in the comment section down below, this is the first topic I'd be interested in talking about. Do you do your own taxes, and do you do it because it's, a lot cheaper, or do you do it because it's easy? I'm just curious. For me, it's convenience and peace of mind, I guess. It's kind of funny because the tax advisors that I go to, that company has some sort of I guess they call it a peace of mind insurance in case there's some sort of mistake made between the advisor and, you know, the customer, which would be me, but no, no intention of making that correlation or making that similar. It just popped in my head, but after I left there, which was really weird, so a really weird interaction, I'll tell you a little bit about it. So I typically go to the same tax advisor every year and have been for a very long time. Well, that tax advisor has now moved to a different state, and I went in there, I got a call not too long ago reminding me, hey, you gotta do your taxes, because I've obviously waited. I could have done them in February and made it right before the pandemic hit, and there was just way too much stuff going on, and I was like, oh, you know, wait till March. I never do that, but you know, I guess with everything that's happened, I guess it makes sense, right? So it's just a weird time being with somebody. Again, comment section down below if you have done this before, where you go to the same person over and over and over again for years, and then you go to a completely different person who, you know, clearly knows what they're doing because, you know, they do it every day, and, you know, that's just what their job is. But for me, it's just really weird, and, you know, there's a comfort level between you and somebody else. It's fine, it's human nature. And granted, it's taxes, so, you know, it's really just numbers and putting things into a system, but, you know, there's some sort of human interaction between, at least for me. So I'm just curious on what your thoughts are on that. I don't know. Again, I'm exhausted, so don't mind me, I'm babbling on. Well, anyway, after I left there, and I don't know, the conversation was very strange, and it wasn't what I'm used to. It was out of my normal. It was out of my comfort zone. Because the person who I was talking to had no idea about me. Like this other person I've gone to so long, like they could probably like tell you my tax ID, for God's sakes, without actually looking at it. Like that's how well they knew me. And not like we're friends and go to the, you know, go out to a restaurant or something, eat or anything, but you know, business relationship. So got it done though, and taxes got accepted, which is cool. So I'll be seeing some sort of refund at some point, which will probably just go to bills with, hey, filed my taxes and I'm good, because I want to make sure I do that next year. I will make sure that I definitely file those as soon as possible, because you never know what tomorrow brings in this world, because there's all kinds of stuff going on in 2020, as you all know. And of course, one of the big things that have gone on is the pandemic and current healthcare crisis that we as a world face, not just a country. And I'm glad to see that things are moving forward. I've talked about it a little bit on the channel. I don't really like to talk about politics or anything like that in regards to the healthcare crisis and how certain people feel a certain way or whatever. I just know that, you know, obviously there's a lot of bad stuff going on out there in regards to the crisis, and it's just sad, and I hope that they are able to find a cure, you know, sooner than later. I guess on average it typically takes 2 years or more to find a cure to anything similar to what we're going through, and hopefully they can find it fast, and you know, we can just continue to move forward and make the best decisions for us and our families. That's kind of the way I see it. But anyway, again, off the rails, but that's who I am, and it's my video. I can do what I want, and that's it. So after I left the place where I go to my tax advisor, I went down the street and walked down, and currently in Massachusetts, like I've said in a few of the videos before, we are currently in phase 2 out of 4 phases for reopening the state and getting to a new normal, as they say. So I walked by the comic book store and I was like, you know what? I never get the chance to come by here anymore because I'm so busy with life and everything else. I said, yeah, I haven't been there in a while. I'm going to go check it out. And, you know, sure as shit, there it is. And it's open. Wow, I didn't even check if it's been open since the pandemic happened. There's just been way too many other things going on. But went in there and I was super excited because, again, it's been like a year. Like the place still looked the same, but had a lot of cool items and stuff. And I wanted to take the time to share these items with you today because, I don't know, made my day. Got my taxes done, got some cool items, went to bed and got up at 2 in the morning. So, we'll start off with the most obvious, so you all know that I thoroughly enjoy collecting my nonsense and collecting my action figures. Those are very different topics, so don't hate on me. But this is one that I found right here. It's the Hunchback of Notre Dame. It is based on the Lon Chaney incarnation. Not too bad. A little dusty, as you can imagine. Once things are on shelves for a little bit, they do collect some dust. There are some imperfections on it, and you don't really hear too much about me talking about how serious I take something like this. Look at that. It's a Sideshow Hunchback for 50% off. I'm so tempted to leave that on there. I don't know why, but I love those stickers. I mean, they're just great. I'm sitting here like I'm that close to you, but I love these stickers right here. I don't know why, but I mean, take a look at all these other ones. They didn't have any more because I might have actually debated on getting them. I've never actually gotten a Hunchback or Notre Dame figure before, but I mean, they've got a lot of different figures with it. He's got a lot of different parts of him that, you know, have great articulation from what the package says, and anything that has that kind of sticker on it is going to be top notch. And I got this for 11 bucks, and I was like, oh, why not? You know, I haven't seen something like this before, because again, it's a Sideshow exclusive. Or sorry, Sideshow Toy Classic Edition. So maybe it wasn't, but still, it attracted me. I saw the question mark. Always loved the question mark. It's a cool symbol, but there's some cool ones on here that I wouldn't mind either. You know, Frankenstein, or should I say Frankenstein's monster, to be very specific and correct. The Mummy. You have Creature of the Black Lagoon, the Phantom of the Opera. I'm surprised Dracula was in high. That's interesting. You have an alien-looking guy, the Invisible Man, and of course the Hunchback. So these figures came out in, I should have done my homework, in 2000. So that's pretty interesting. So this thing has been out for 20 years. Yeah, it's about 20 years, right? We're in 2020. Never forget this year. And I don't remember ever seeing this, but just look at the detail on the face, and it's got all these cool little accessories like the crown and the scepter, and it just looks really cool. I think it would have looked really cool with the cloth-like clothes. I'm very particular with that type of figure, so I have very few figures that are like that, but I think this one would look pretty cool on it. I have a Jason Lives incarnation figure that had, or an incarnation of Jason from Jason Lives that has that type of material on it, and pretty cool. So I'm super excited to add that to the collection, and I don't really know how I'm going to display it. This figure is so big and bulky, and although it has some imperfections on the package, it's still sealed. I'm big on that. If you know anything about me in regards to games, whether it's sealed or not, it's not that big of a deal. If I can find a sealed game, I get it. But when it comes to action figures, it would absolutely drive me insane to even think about opening this up. It's just the way I am. I've been like that since I was young, so I think I've explained that story before, so I won't get into that. But still, pretty cool, super excited. Let me know down in the comment section down below, if you know anything about this figure. Do you collect action figures yourself? Does this kind of thing interest you? I may have to be on the hunt for a couple of these other ones, especially the Frankenstein's monster one, that alien looking one, because that's pretty sick. So, pretty cool find, and it's 50% off, so deals are deals, right? So this right here, this comic book store that I go to, it's local to me, and it's the only place I can find certain horror magazines. So I go after Fangoria, a couple other ones. I'm a huge horror fan, as you can imagine, because if you've seen a lot of my videos, you'd understand why and how the game room used to be. So I got a couple of magazines. I'm not really a huge magazine collector, but when I see something that's cool, I like to keep it. I have a whole bunch of them just laying around. I couldn't tell you where they are now because I've moved so much stuff around because of, as you can see, the obvious. This couch is, I think, on its last leg, and it's too bad. I actually liked it. I mean, it's not super comfortable to sleep on, but I like to sleep on uncomfortable things. I'm weird. And you can see some of the trims here. A lot of the trim is up and around the game room. All the floor has been laid down. So, actually, no, I wasn't telling the truth. Some of the trim still needs to be done in the bathroom and then outside of it. And then it obviously needs to be repainted because this paint looks like shit. So, especially that spot I've shown over there before. It's just so weird. I gotta take a picture of that because it just came out so weird. But anyway. Let's get back to topic. So I picked up this issue of the Walking Dead magazine. This isn't here anymore. Comment section down below, as always. Do you folks watch The Walking Dead? Do you enjoy it? Did you stop watching it at a certain season? I can bet that majority of people that I've seen, probably around the seventh season is when folks stopped watching it. There's still a lot of diehard fans out there from what I've seen, but I've seen a lot of folks say that for whatever reason after season 7 it didn't have the same oomph to it, I guess, and that's kind of a Jasonism right there, because oomph doesn't really describe that, but whatever. You get what I'm pointing at. You get where I'm throwing. You get where I'm going. But I didn't have this one. I haven't collected all of them, but still pretty cool. I'm a huge fan of the show and a huge fan of Negan, and I think the story is very interesting. I think this season 7 is very interesting to see exactly what these folks go through and how they go about moving forward in life. So pretty cool. Excuse me, I yawned, couldn't hold it in. Next one is Fangoria, and this is a really weird Fangoria. So I wish I could describe how this feels, and it's not like a normal Fangoria. Like this is. You could clearly tell the difference. I mean, this is a little bit bigger, but I think you can clearly tell the difference in the material to a lot more, I don't know, a lot more sturdier cover and actual whole book and the pages. It's just, I don't know, it's like a glossy thing or something. It's just a certain type of paper that they use, but I haven't had one of these in so long, and I hope to find more. I'm actually very interested in finding some old retro ones from the 80s and the 90s. This stuff's just cool to just keep up with horror. I should probably just put it a little bit closer to the camera so you folks can actually see it, not to squint. So, pretty cool. Let me know in the comment section down below, of course, if you're interested in Fangoria, because if you're a horror fan, it's a pretty cool magazine. If you have any other ones out there, let me know. This is another one that I'm not too familiar with. I might have seen one or two in my day here and there. It is called Scream. And it happened to come out when Dawn of the Dead went out on Blu-ray. So this is kind of an older magazine, I would believe, because Dawn of the Dead, the original, from the 70s, was actually out a lot longer. But how can you say no to that cover? I mean, it's just awesome. Don't get me wrong, I'm not looking to have like stacks upon stacks of magazines and stuff, but any kind of magazine that has anything to do with horror interests me. So, I mean, look at all these other ones you can get. Like, these covers look so good. This cover looks amazing. This is awesome. To think that somebody probably hand drew that is just blows my mind. I can't draw for anything. I couldn't draw to save my life, but still pretty cool. Super excited. Let me know if you've heard of that before. Another one from the magazine Scream. Pretty super stoked about this one because it has the Child's Play reboot. It has some stuff about, what is this here? Universal's Frankenstein, and looks like it might have a story of the tall man from the Phantasm, and Amityville 2, The Possession. Amityville 2, The Possession. I think I've seen all of them, but I think my favorite one's obviously the original. I don't know how I felt about the other ones, but still pretty cool. Blood, guts, gore, and more. Scream! So, pretty cool, pretty neat. Never heard of it, or I might have seen a few things here and there. 100 bloody pages. Awesome. This one right here, this is something I have never seen before, but it does have a pretty interesting cover. And it is based on Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. So I saw this and I find that to be a very interesting incarnation of Freddy Krueger. Going from the first one to the second one is like night and day. I mean, the horror is still there. There's a lot of different things that they did in that movie. Oh my God. Excuse me. This does not bore me again. Remember, don't forget, I have been awake for a very long time, but I had to do this because I just had to get it out. Had to get it up. And what was I saying? So this magazine interested me because I've never seen anything like this before. So it's Rouge Morgue. I don't know. I don't know how to exactly say that, but it looks pretty cool, and it's definitely a different magazine than I'm used to seeing. But I'm pretty super stoked about it, and that cover is just awesome. The second, like I was saying, the second incarnation of the Nightmare on Elm Street is very different from the other ones in the series, but it's Freddy Krueger, and how can you say no, right? Have you ever heard of this? Let me know. And I have another Walking Dead one, and it has a interesting story, it looks like, of... Oh, I keep yawning. I'm terribly sorry, because that's not what we should be doing during the video. I should have drank like 5 cups of coffee before I did this, but this had a pretty interesting look to it because it has to do with Night of the Living Dead, which is an awesome series in regards to zombies, obviously. So you got the Walking Dead there, and then you've got some pretty cool articles in regards to George Romero, who, if you don't know who that is, created the Night of the Living Dead. I might want to put it a little bit closer again. I'm all over the place today. This is Horror Hound. I've seen these out and about. I've collected a few of them, but again, not looking for any complete collections, but just look at the art on this. It's just amazing. I actually had this picture right over there in the game room before it got obliterated, and can't wait to put it back up. So cool stuff. Now what is that? That's some sort of weird looking creature and all kinds of stuff going on there. Pretty cool. You ever been to a I guess this is some sort of convention? I would love to go to one of these conventions, but they're always out of state. None of them ever come to Mass. If they do, let me know, but I've never seen anything like that. So the last one, this was a weird one for me. I saw this right before I was leaving, and I think it's a pretty interesting thing, right? So it's called the Overstreet Guide to Collecting Video Games, and of course, video games. Yep, that's me. Collecting video games. Yeah, I'd say so. I took a look at this a little bit. It kind of looks like it's like the history of gaming from the beginnings, or early beginnings, until the very end. And of course, I'm just curious. So it says into the 90s. So let's look at page 14. There's a very good reason why I'm doing this. I am just curious if they mentioned something in here. Can you guess what it is? I'll give you a minute. Nope, they didn't. So I was just seeing if they mentioned the NWC, because you know that interests me a lot. So don't mind me. The hair is a mess, and I haven't trimmed down in a long time in regards to facial. I don't really care because we're all wearing, face coverings and masks for the obvious reasons of the healthcare crisis. So I can kind of get away with it. And oh my God, I'm super tired, super sorry. So obviously the face covering and the mask, can't really see anything, which is cool. And then what I've been doing a lot is slicking the hair back, so you can't really tell. But I got some long hair, and it's out of control. It goes like down to here now. So I've never seen anything like this before. I got it for a pretty good deal. All these were a pretty good deal. They were just a couple of bucks old, like, issues of magazines or a book that was on sale or whatever that, they're just looking to sell it and get rid of it and move on and free up some open stock. So pretty cool. Let me know down in the comment section down below if you've ever seen this before, because I haven't. That's a pretty good read. Ooh, look at that. NES and ET all on the same page. If you don't know anything about those two things, we've got a lot to talk about. But anyway, that's what I got, and I'm kind of excited, or really excited actually, to put another different series onto the channel. I love the thrift time and finds, And we got a lot of other ones we have on there with stuff I got off of eBay and all kinds of stuff, big box retailer. This is just another thing to put up and pretty cool and strike up some conversation. So let me know down in the comment section down below, because I always ask for that because I like great conversations. What is your favorite thing that I got during this video? I'm just curious. This is one I'm really intrigued by. I've never seen it before, so yeah, cool. Super stoked to be reading this. At least I have some reading material for a while, because I haven't really gotten any. The only thing I get delivered to the house, look at that art. Oh, it's amazing. You ever see Dawn of the Dead, the original, or the 2004 remake? Yeah, pretty cool. Amazing film. And the effects are out of this world, especially the older original version. There's my Fangoria. Now, I heard something interesting about Fangoria before I move on. I heard that, there's usually a lot of different functions with how these things come out, but I heard that we might not be getting this anymore, so if you have any of those Fangorias and you have any of the old issues, you may want to keep them, because if this goes out of print and doesn't get made anymore, I could shoot up the value if that's kind of what you're into. So there we go, Neged's back, season 7. Won't be throwing any spoilers here, but it's a great series and thoroughly enjoy it. So, and of course we got the Hunchback of Notre Dame. 12 points of articulation, so that's pretty decent. I mean, usually it's 20 more commonly, for at least what I know, to have some really awesome articulation. It's still pretty cool. So let me know down in the comment section down below, as I said before, what is your favorite thing that I got today? And let me know anything else you want to talk about. And always remember to try to keep your comments and any conversations we have to be positive and have some fun and have some laughs. And, just break up your day. That's really what I'm doing here, and it certainly does it for me. And anybody that reaches out to me on there, obviously I will reach out back, and I love every comment because it's awesome, and we get to talk about things that interest us. So what else do I got to share? Nothing yet, but hopefully this game room will be done in like a week and a half, 2 weeks, I don't know. It feels like a century. It's just 2020 has been a long year for me, like it has been for a lot of other folks, and much worse and better than me. But I'm just looking forward to getting my game room back and taking my mind off of things. And yeah, can't wait to set it up. But let me know what you thought about the episode. Sorry about the yawns and being extremely tired, but I had to get this out. I was so happy when I got home. I was like, all right, got a few things to do, got to eat, got to drink the coffee, hang out with some, the family, and then take some time for myself. So, and I think that should just about do it. No other big updates to discuss in the world. No other big updates to the game room. But yeah, I guess that'll do it. And this is a very tired Jason. Jason's also fun in video games. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Awesome weekend, some great weather come out here in Massachusetts. Hopefully where you reside is the same thing. And I will see you in the next video.